Hey everybody, it's Mike Venus and I'm back. And in this video, this is the second part to expounding upon the tip that I gave, applying it to vibe, drill, or any style of music. And it's called pivot chord modulation, meaning you're going to shift different keys, but you're going to use a chord to be the gateway between one key to the next. Okay. Now, the best way this works is whatever keys you're using, you choose to modulate between. It's best that you find a common chord that both of those scales or both of those keys share. So in this example, I'm going to use, once again, A minor shifting into D minor. Okay. And the chord progression I'm going to use, get this right, so that this sounds smooth, I'm going to use, okay, first let me program it real quick, and then I'm going to let you hear it. So let's go to A minor. Right? So we're going to do in A minor, we're going to do a 2-5-1 again. We're going to do two bars of the 2 chord, 1 bar of the 5th, and 1 bar of the 1st. Okay? So in A minor, right? In A minor, in the key of A minor, right? The 2 chord will be B diminished. But most times, some people don't like to use diminished chords because it sounds has a lot of tension, and it's very dark. Might fit well in drill, you know. But to make it a little bit more pleasant, typically they add the 7th degree to that chord, which would make it, in this case, a B minor 7 flat 5th chord. In this example, in the first bar, I'm going to have that B minor 7 flat 5th chord. Then in the second bar, I'm going to have the B diminished so you can hear the difference. And then I'm going to have the 5th chord, which in A minor will be E minor. And then the first chord will be A minor. So this is what it sounds like. Right? Okay. So we want to shift down or shift up to D minor. But we want this to feel a little bit smoother or natural. It won't be such a dramatic drop or a dramatic jump. As in the last video I went into about direct modulation, right? Which is basically you shifting from one key directly to another key. You use the same chord progression, right? When you do this. So like in the last example, we used the 2-5-1 in A minor, and we shifted to D minor using the 2-5-1. So it was pretty dramatic, right? But in this example, with the pivot chord modulation, we look to find what are the common chords between these 2 keys, so that when we make this transition from A minor to D minor, it is not as, it won't be such an abrupt, drop or a jump. You know what I'm saying? This is a little bit more subtle, and it's very sophisticated, but not complicated. So I'll make this simple. So I already wrote it out, right? And the common chords that is shared between A minor and D minor is D minor, A minor, C major, and F major. Now, typically in styles like drill, not all the time, most people try to avoid using major chords because the common belief is that major chords sound positive and uplifting, and minor chords sound sad and dark. It's how you play them. But in this example, we're going to stay with the common understanding for most people. So we're going to keep it simple. So whenever I make this transition from A minor to D minor, the common chords between these 2 scales is D minor, A minor, C major, and F. So I'm still going to keep the 2-5-1 in the key of A minor, which is B diminished or B minor 7 flat fifth to E minor to A minor. And what I'm going to use A minor in this section to be the gateway chord or the pivot chord to have a smooth transition into D minor. So the chord progression I'm going to set up for that section, which this will be, in this case, this will be like my verse. I'm going to use, what is it? I'm going to use D minor. First, let me shift to the key. I'm going to use D minor, right? I'm going to have that play for 2 bars. We'll do 7, then we're going to do a 6 chord. I want it to be a little spicy. D minor to G minor, which is the 4th chord, and then to A minor. Better yet, let's use E minor. And see how that sounds. If that doesn't work, I'll use A minor. So let's play it first. So this is the A minor progression, right? The 2-5-1 A minor. All right. Okay. Now we're going to shift to D minor. Back to A minor. Wasn't as smooth, so I'm going to switch up the last chord to an A minor chord. Right? Now, A minor, D minor are both shared in these 2 scales. So I'm using A minor as my gateway chord to move from the progression I have in A minor to D minor, right? So that A minor is going straight to the next chord, which is in the verse, which would be D minor. That's the 1st chord. So it will sound smoother, right? And then I'm using A minor, right, as my chord that is going to pivot, right, from D minor back into A minor, which in this case I could use either C major, I can use F, I can use D minor, or I can use A minor, okay? So I'm going to use A minor. So let's hear what this sounds like. Let me make sure. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So let's start back again with A minor. I'm going to add some drums so it doesn't sound too bland. Right? Now we're about to shift to the D minor key. Back to A minor. Right? Back to D minor. Right? So that's pivot chord modulation or switching keys using a common chord that both of these keys share to make the transition from one key to the next. It's smoother, it's not as abrasive, and it can drastically change the overall feel of your music to have a more impactful feel upon the listener. But in this way, it's more subtle. Okay. So to recap on both examples, the first example was direct modulation or direct key changing, which was done in the previous video, which can be very abruptive, but it is a powerful way of bringing energy to a song. And then in this example, in this video, it is known as pivot chord modulation, right? Using a chord that is shared in both keys to be that gateway chord to switch between the two different keys. So with that, hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, you can use this in any style of music. I'm using it in what I call vibe drill. Um, yeah, this is just another trick or another thing you can add to your arsenal when it comes to making beats. Um, I don't use this all the time, but anytime I have like beat block or I might feel like, okay, the stuff I've been doing is kind of repetitive. Let me try something like this to just kind of create a new idea and get a new vibe. So with that, hopefully this was helpful. To the next time, y'all be blessed. Mike out.